Hey guys, back in the studio here, working hard on a Friday, as per usual, here at Legion's Realms at War, Future Lore Studios. Just wanted to do a video update just to kind of show you guys what we were working on. I know we were saying something about, in our last video, about how we've been working steadily on producing different behind-the-scenes stuff for foiling, also for some special like varnishing treatments and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at those today, just to kind of show you guys just the effort and the amount of work that we've been putting in behind the scenes to make sure that we're bringing you the best quality cards and the best looking cards for Legions. So we're going to start off real quick with things like this. As you can see, this looks like a Legions card, right? And it's not. In no way we're going to have just a regular fruit basket here. This here, as you can see, is a test. This was a test, obviously, that we got printed back in August of 2022. You can see there. And this big thing here is that we've been working on these, longer than this. Obviously, these were all test printed before August and done for us in time for August, as we were really gearing up to getting Empire's card quality nailed down to the absolute best we can. So these are just printed on our regular cardstock, as you can see, right? And you'll notice here that it says test OPW plus CMYK on rainbow foil. So for those of you that don't know, or that you're learning the whole process of printing process, we're going to walk you through right here. So OPW means opaque white, which is what you find here, cardstock, opaque white. And CMYK is the printing colors. So you have cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, all on rainbow foil. And then so you have a 5% screening there, and we'll get to that in a second. But basically, as you look at it, this is a regular cardstock that we print on, right? And this here is the whole card is rainbow foiled. So those who have been in the TCG space for a while, or that know a lot about in terms of TCG foiling and stuff like that, there's always the conversation and the topic of spot foiling, as well as like full rainbow foil cards and stuff like that. So up to this point, Legions has been printed in full rainbow foil, and we're going to continue to do so. However, what we're going to do, featuring in Empires on the Rise, that's currently on Kickstarter right now, we have been working, like I said, since August on trying to get these foils down absolutely mint and perfect. So what I mean by that is, you can see here it says 5% screens. So if you look really closely, you can actually see, as I shine the card here, there's these checkered background in there. Faintly says test. This is checkered background in the foil. So that's a 5% screen on top of the foil in the printing process. So that means that like 5% of this card actually has a spot foil, where the whole card is foiled, but that is an opaque white print. So as we move over to 10% screens, as you can see, it's much more clear. So you can see where it says test. You can even see the squares a lot more, right? So the reason why we do this, here I'll move over to 15%, not much difference from the 10, but you can see, you're starting to see the squares actually appear in the fruit basket right there. You can kind of see it right up in here. And so the reason why we do this is, as we're testing through, is that there's really no way of of a normal like spot foiling finish. What it is it's kind of like an illusion. So now we're on to 20% screen. You can see it much clearer, right? And it's right through into this like fruit basket image artwork, right? So here's 25%. So what I mean by this is, as it being kind of an illusion, all foil cards are printed straight foil on white cardstock, right? So when you have foil printed right on the cardstock, it's actually a thin layer of metal, right? So what happens, and what we see in this industry a lot, particularly with the newer indie TCGs, and we've seen it in Magic as well, that often the conversation is about foil curve, right? And with this concept of the foil curve is because it's actually the addition or subtraction of moisture. Here's 50%. It's starting to get substantial. You can start really seeing all of those squares in like full. You can see some of them are foil and some of them are not. And that's what we're talking about when it comes to the opaque white print on a CMYK rainbow foil. So going back to, here's a 65%. Going back to the fact that we have this concept of moisture getting in the card. On the front side where the card is foiled, it's almost like an aluminum foil kind of. So this metal foiling seals the front of the card. So the back of the card is what absorbs the moisture because it's still printed on cardstock and not on plastic. So with the back of the card still printed or still exposed, what happens is there's a constant motion of either absorbing or losing moisture. So when you absorb or lose moisture into a porous thing like cardstock, particularly when it absorbs, you see a extreme foil curve, right? And it's actually not the card bending so much as the fact is it's expanding on the back, but the front, because it's metal and it's sealed in, it doesn't absorb moisture the same way. So you get this throw off of balance, right? So this is a 90%. This is pretty steep, and you can see like there is clearly defined foil and not foil spots. So this is the process of spot foiling. We have been working really hard with our manufacturer to not only get solve the problem with minor foil curve going forward, is the fact that we are working with different layers of varnish to seal the back of the card. So essentially the card becomes fully sealed and it can't absorb moisture. But we're also working with the concept here of the spot foil to offer more rigidity to the front of the card to help it with any concept of a potential of foil curve. But also on top of that, we want to make sure we get that really, really cool finish for everybody. So moving on to our sample cards here. So these are cards that we have had printed with our actual Legions cards and everything on them. But as you can see, they say sample. So pulling this one here from pack A, right? This was a different type of foiling that we tried. And as you can see, it's not a spot foil. It's still like our regular Legions foil. But these edges are starting to come out really nice. Mind you, these are only tests. But look at this. It's absolutely amazing. So these have been sitting in our studio since August, and we've exposed them to various types of moisture, either positive or negative, and really cold temperatures, really hot, humid temperatures. Like I said, we had these done in August, so we really, really wanted to see what it was gonna do to these new varnishing techniques. So that was from pack A here, and then we have from pack B, right? So pack B is going to give you actually this this amazing look here, where look at. Now we've had a little bit of curve here, but that's to be expected because these are testing, right? But we're really trying to maximize what we can do with UV coatings, with varnishes, to really give you a high quality cardstock that almost has that plastic like look without it being plastic, because everyone still ultimately wants to play with trading cards, and the whole concept of trading cards is cardstock, right? So you can see this one has a way different varnish on it. This was from pack C. We're not a big fan of this gleam. Yes, it looks nice and fancy, but it also covers our full card text, and we don't want that, right? That looks cheap. That's not like what Legions wanted to do, but this had some of the most steep varnishing, and it created this weird like plasticky texture, but we really wanted to just try it out, right? So like B looks like it's going to be the best for us moving forward, and so we really started to extrapolate out into B, and we really wanted to look at A as well, right? So we had more samples and stuff printed to these, and we've been working hard, and we want to bring the best card quality to Empires on the Rise. It is our best set after all. It's our biggest set, and it's the one that's on Kickstarter currently. So this is just kind of like a behind-the-scenes look, and we really wanted to show off some of these what we're testing things, right? So when you look at the difference between 5% and 90%, right? We're working on those spot foils. We're working on the card varnishes. Have been for months now, and we just wanted to make sure that we really wanted to show off what Future Lore Studios has been doing, and why we work so hard behind the scenes. And we wanted to show you a little bit behind the scenes of all the hard work that's been going on to make sure we bring you the best product, because ultimately Legions is here to stay, guys. Go ahead and back that Kickstarter if you haven't yet. You can see the card quality and the effort that we've been putting in. And we just love to have the community support us in these efforts. And more videos like this to come. Until then, later, guys.